teeth. Nasty.
Mileena and Ferra have a lot of synergy. Unsurprising as Ferra is looking like a cameo that can broadly elevate any character, like Chameleon or Janet can. To be honest, the damage is a little unhinged. With all of the adjustments made to Janet and Mavado since their respective releases, I will not be shocked at all should we see the same thing here. Let's not get hung up on that though, as Ferra is not so one-dimensional. Kameo's obviously very new, so there'll be some things that I miss, I'm sure. So the possibility of a follow-up looms depending on what's discovered down the line, but I'll do my best to include some fundamental building blocks here. Mileena Ferra is a 1,150 health team. Her forward throw puts the opponent full screen like most, but it has 18 hit advantage, quite a bit more than your average throw. And this will make it especially good in the corner. Just about everything with Ferra revolves around the Torr Stance, which comprises the bulk of her abilities, so the format of this video may deviate from the usual, but I'll do my best to stay organized. Torr Stance is a summon, calling Ferra to mount you.
Ha, so funny!
Torr Stance is a summon that changes all of your attack buttons and all of your directional movement buttons. It all starts with this lunging stagger when she lands on your back, but it's not without a short window to do a stance move much faster than otherwise. I'll admit that this may be a little bit of an execution barrier to the Kameo, but consistency is possible. The trick, as far as I've surmised, is to press the button when her first hand grabs your shoulder, but before she grabs with the second, causing the stagger. You can cancel the stance by hitting the Kameo button a second time, which is especially useful since you can't block. One is a slow, safe mid that launches, though she has better options for combos. Think of this more as a I can't block, so this is what I'm going to press if I see you jumping or recklessly approaching sort of button. 2 and 3 are overhead and low respectively, and both are safe on block while launching on hit. You can hit confirm and then cancel into either of these to launch for a full combo, or you can use it in your block pressure for mix-ups. More on these a little bit later in the video. And finally, 4 is the classic using Ferra as a projectile. I just said finally, but the throw also changes, which I thought worth mentioning. Your throw is now a high command grab.
Your bones go crunch crunch!
More like stab stab?
Big now!
Anyway, the grab gives Mileena a tick throw on just about everything. Forward 3 and some others done at close range can cause Ferra to whiff, so be mindful of that. And all of these combo on hit as well. You also get the classic MKX launching neutral jump punch, but I'll save that for later when talking about pressure and mix-ups in a little bit more detail. But before that, the stance also includes a special move. Pain and gain.
Pain and gain!
Yeah. Pain and gain.
Pain and gain!
Pain and
Pain and
gain is the reason Ferra gives you a 150 health buffer. Down Kameo while in Torr Stance costs 50 health to activate but increases your damage, stacking up to 2 times. 15% for the first and 33% for the second. The startup is slow, but you're granted a hit of armor to help facilitate it. Ending a meterless ball roll combo with 3-4 gives enough advantage for a guaranteed setup and punish against wake up armor. Be mindful of the trade-off and notice how much damage Mileena's taken from the pain and gain and the wake up combined. You could use this to your advantage by reducing yourself below the health threshold into fatal blow territory for a final damage cash out. Mileena recovers from 3-4 as her forward leg touches the ground. Use this to help get your pain and gain out as soon as possible. You could also experiment with setting this up after EX ball roll, as it has a lot of advantage, but it won't always be a punish and may outright not work in some matchups. Against Ashra's 20 frame wake up, for example, we can't punish, but Ashra's still at disadvantage. Mileena recovers from EX ball roll as the pink sparkles fade. You can use this visual indicator to help time your follow-up input. Okay, now let's talk about the neutral jump punch. It's neutral on block, point blank, disgusting range, and it's a key component to what Ferra is going to offer any character. Up Kameo is an ambush that makes Ferra attempt to mount you
big now, so funny!
From the air. This ambush combined with the neutral jump punch that Torr Stance gives you is a staple of her design. It gives Mileena very easy access to damage approaching or breaking 500, whether punishing an opponent or opening them up in pressure. Did you know that, just for a moment, Mileena is airborne during the forward 3-4 string? On block, immediately up Kameo after forward 3-4 into an instant overhead. This can be up blocked and punished, but nothing is stopping you from doing nothing at all and simply landing on the ground into a low. You can also just take the extra throw damage on the punish. Careful not to get too wild with this, because if they're ready for it, they can anti-air you. The timing for this is different on hit if you want to use forward 3-4 as a combo starter. Let me rephrase. If you use the same timing, you lose some damage by canceling too early. The highest I've seen is 166 after the neutral jump punch. Anything lower than that, then you're canceling too early. To adjust the timing on hit, call Ferra as Mileena's front leg touches the ground. But for the resources, this is inferior damage anyway. Instead, use 1-2 into down teleport, then the same combo path. If you're having trouble with the timing, I agree that it can be a bit weird and it really sucks to drop a combo encroaching on 500 damage at the 145 damage mark. You need to find a rhythm with your timing between the down back 2 and up Kameo. Captain Obvious here, but what I mean is the special cancel window is a buffer. This is what allows you to immediately dial in a down back 2 after 1-2 and the teleport comes out anyway, regardless of timing. You could also wait to down back 2 until the last frames of the buffer window and it still comes out on the first frame that it can, just like using it early in the buffer. The variation in timing your special cancels is what can make down back 2 into up Kameo feel inconsistent. Ferra and Mileena have a small window to interact mid-air, so I find that canceling down back 2 later to be much more consistent for me, as I can anchor up Kameo's timing with the down back 2. That is, instead of thinking about the inputs as 1-2 down back 2 up Kameo with manual timing, I chunk it, which is something I've talked about in other videos on the channel. 1-2, wait until the third hit connects, cancel the down back 2, and then immediately, with no delay, up Kameo as one fluid input. This isn't so much of an issue if you're a player that uses visual cues. And while you're practicing this, the side Mileena lands on is indicative of your timing. If she side switches, it's a little bit early. You can still convert, but beware that the gravity can be a little bit askew sometimes. If you're a ball roll enjoyer, you can try to use the neutral jump punch and be -2 on block. This will punish overeager opponents, but you're probably still hanging yourself. Same goes for the down teleport on block. Up teleport is a high that can be ducked, but if you're feeling frisky, then you can try something with that as well. Ferra also gives Mileena an armored launcher, albeit a heavily scaled armored launcher. She also gives her a back throw combo, that's 290 damage. Before moving forward, let's quickly go back to revisit the overhead and low that you get in Torr Stance. After 1-2 on block, the low beats a 7-frame follow-up from the opponent with time to spare, causing a trade if you're a little bit slow. The overhead is too slow to beat 7 frames, but you can try to use the insane movement that you get in this stance to cause a whiff and then punish accordingly. The overhead will also catch an opponent trying to take their turn with a slower button. On flawless block, Ferra can be cancelled from 1-2 to help avoid a punish, though not as cleanly as other Kameos. 1-2 cancelled into ball roll is a gelling block string, so they can't attempt their punish until after the ball roll, so you could try to use the neutral jump punch to save you. You could also try this by cancelling into down teleport. Both will combo and hit and might save you from the punish, but they're not without their own counterplay. Lackey Stance has Ferra cheering on the sidelines, granting you additional meter on hit. I don't know the exact numbers, but this B&B normally gives around 1/3 of a bar, and with Ferra out it nets just over a full bar. But wait, there's more. Your meter is also depleted by being hit. This Ashra combo normally builds her opponent about 2/3 of a bar. With Ferra out, it's reduced to less than half a bar. If you don't like the prospect of losing meter, you can think of this like charging Shujinko mid-combo. For example, summoning Ferra between 1-2 and ball roll, then dismissing her after your combo ender nets a nice chunk of meter and leaves you with half a Kameo meter, assuming you started full. In a metered conversion, summon Ferra after the up teleport, then dismiss her just after the air roll to use only half your Kameo meter. I especially like the idea of this for situations when I'm cornered, but I have the opportunity to reverse position. Summon Ferra just before the first jump kick, then dismiss her after the air roll for a nice bump in meter, with still half a Kameo on deck for whatever you want to do to them in the corner. You could also end the combo with standing 4 cancelled into up Kameo, which would transition Ferra from Lackey to Torr Stance if she's in proximity. Furthermore, forcing the opponent into a mix-up situation after you just melted nearly half of their health bar. Mileena had 1 bar of meter when the sequence started, which she spent immediately, and already has another bar built by the end of the combo. You can spend this on an EX ball roll, not only for a little more damage, but also a little more time. By the end, Ferra's already recharged to half meter before the opponents even had a chance to recover. Add Fatal Blow to the mix, and these 2 combos nearly kill a 1000 health opponent. While not as comprehensive as I was intending, this wraps up the Mileena Ferra video for now. It's early, so tech is still being explored, and when new things to share surface, as they always do, perhaps a Redux video will be in order. Until then, thanks for watching.